think I gave myself a fucking headache. Jesus fuck. It's hard to chug fucking bubbly shit. Get out of here. Welcome back, ladies and gents. As we all know here, this channel has been, and always will be a movie review channel where I review movies. Dune. That's the review. Better than me not wearing underwear, right? You know, I'd never seen Dune, never read Dune, never did any digging around in the dunes. So I watched the old David Lynch Dune, and it was pretty okay, good. It's fine. You see, this is where I feel numerical rating scales don't do so great. If I had to give it an out of 10 rating, I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10, or even the funniest score you can give something, a 6 out of 10. That's a very funny score, actually. But I don't really feel like that works so well. It would seem weird to me to put this movie on like the same level as like the Thor movie. Like, those two things aren't the same in terms of quality, even if they're the same in terms of quality. Those movies are like average, but this movie isn't average. It's just bad in some ways. That's some good commentary on my part, I think. You know, you should probably get most of your movie opinions from me, the guy who knows how to explain things. You know what? I'm having some trouble here. So we're just gonna, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do the classic movie review thing and just summarize the movie. That's the funnest part of every movie review, especially when they don't summarize it and they just do really bad sketches around it. That's the funniest thing. It's so good. Please do more of that. I want to see more of that on the internet right now. But anyways, we need some startup lore. We can't just drop you in the middle of the story. That would just be irresponsible. So you have some chick. This girl does nothing. She doesn't do anything in the movie. She's the daughter of Emperor Shaddam. You know, it's a really cool name. Lots of cool names. You got names like Shaddam. You got Arrakis. You got Atreides. The Bene Gesserit. The Kwisatz Haderach. Lots of cool names. Duncan, Idaho. Maybe is a little goofier, but you know, cool name central really up in here. If there's one thing that's going to add a point to any movie score, it's some cool names. But anyways, this girl basically gives us some necessary exposition to understand what's going on up in this story. Basically, there's this resource that allows, you know, fucking intergalactic travel, and it's like a drug, and it gives people superpowers, sort of, called the Spice, or the Spice Melange, if you don't mind sounding like an asshole. And she sort of sets up that there are two houses. It's like medieval times, but in space. So you have like the two houses. There's House Harkonnen and House Atreides. But House Atreides is getting a little beefy. They're kind of getting beefed up at the moment. And so the Emperor is not so, kind of is having a little bit of it, not liking House Atreides too much, and he wants the Harkonnens to sort of kill him. So then we cut to like the first scene, and the first scene's like the freaking Emperor, and he's like, I will kill the Atreides people. Yeah. And then guys come in and they got a big fish tank, but there's no fish inside the tank. The fucking demon fetus abortion baby from Berserk sort of is contained within the fish tank. It looks pretty cool. I like it. I like it. It has a little mouth nose thing that goes like this fucking weird fetus thing is like, you gotta kill Paul Atreides. And Paul Atreides is the son of the Duke Atreides, because these little berserk baby dudes, spice people, they're, by the way, they like live inside of the spice. The fish tank, it's full of spice. So, you know, they've been living for a real long time, and they have like future sight thing, and so they know Paul's gonna be a problem because Paul is the product of eugenics, and he's gonna be the best perfect boy. That's what's going on. Paul is a super cool master race eugenics baby, which is chill, good for him, I guess. And basically, you know, the Emperor has set up this thing where it's like, okay, we're gonna have the Harkonnens, which the Harkonnens are the bad people who don't like the Atreides and who have like a rivalry. Why? It's not explained. I don't know. Doesn't matter. He's bad. You can tell because he's ugly, and also he's a pedophile. And then he has a kid who's like always smirking all like an evil guy, and he's like just all the time. The Emperor has formulated this plan with the Harkonnens to give the Atreides Arrakis, which Arrakis is the planet where all the spice is. He's going to give it to the Atreides, so the Atreides leave their home planet to go to Arrakis, and then the Harkonnens are going to show up and they're just going to kill all of them. And that's basically the plan. There's a lot of cubular stuff going on. This movie has cubular things in it. Real cool. Into cubes. Definitely like that. The most obviously thematically meaningful line in the movie is this one section where Paul's dad talks about how people can't, stagnation is bad, but like, I don't know, it feels like that theme is not fully explored within the context of this movie. I don't know what this movie is saying. I don't really know what the point is. Paul has some weird dreams, and then a Bene Gesserit, which the Bene Gesserit's like this sisterhood of ladies, and they're the eugenics people. They're doing the eugenics to find this cool thing called the Kwisatz Haderach, which is a really cool fucking name, so I'm kind of on board with that. The Bene Gesserit lady comes and is like, "Hey, Paul, are you the Kwisatz Haderach?" And he's like, "Sure, I guess." and then they're like, "Well, okay, if you say so, I trust you. I trust your judgment. I mean, if you are the Kwisatz Haderach, after all, you would know." And then they leave and they go to Arrakis, this big desert planet. And there are big worms. They're called wormulons. That's actually canon. If you read the books, you would know the worms are called wormulons. Then the Harkonnens attack, and they kill everybody except for Paul and his mom, who escape. And then they meet Quentin Reviews out in the desert, and he's the leader of a tribe or some sort of unit of people. He's the leader of like a group of Fremen. Fremen are the inhabitants of Arrakis, and you know, they have this myth of a messiah who will save them, a big boy who's going to come down to save them, and they think that that's Paul because Paul fits the description of the legends. Here's the twist that's not in the movie, but it's in the books. The twist is that, well, I don't even know that it's a twist, but it's a story plot beat from the book. It's all bullshit. The Bene Gesserit came down and made it up, you know, thousands of years ago, because they've been around for a long time. The Bene Gesserit went to Arrakis, and they made up this legend for the Fremen. But they meet the Fremen, but then Paul like becomes the leader of the Fremen, and he's called Muad'Dib. And then he like leads them, and they're like, and then they do a revolution against the Emperor. The Baron flies into a wormulon, and it starts raining, and then the movie ends. And if that sounded like the plot synopsis I was doing got faster and faster as I went through, and less detailed as I went through, it's because that's what the movie does. Whenever I first watched the movie, it got to the part where the Harkonnens arrived and attacked, and it was moving a little bit too fast. Like I was like, did they like cut out a scene there or something? But then like as the movie kept going, it kept getting faster, and by the end it was just like a Wikipedia summary or something. Also, it ends with it raining, which kind of makes it seem as though Paul is actually the Messiah, when really he's just the product of social engineering on the part of the Bene Gesserit, and is just a dude who's kind of talented, basically. I feel like almost everything about the movie is pretty cool. Like, it's almost a really good movie, but it's like, I don't know, I guess it should have been like longer or something. I think it's worth watching. It's not great or anything, but it is interesting at least. And I'm excited for the new one. There's a lot of lore stuff that I've learned just from YouTube videos, because I can't read a book. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You think I'm gonna read a book? Fuck you. I mean, I would recommend watching the movie because it's a fun little movie. That's what I would say. I really don't have a ton else to say. I don't know if this was like good or bad or ugly. Please comment down below some feedback, because I don't know if this was a good video. I underestimate the difficulty of chugging a LaCroix.